Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. Rowpaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Now, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, greetings, Boise State fans. Special edition of Bronco Nation News Live. Today, we are at the Boise Town Square Mall, and we are at the Blue and Orange store. Look at all the Boise State gear, whether it's the hats, the sweatshirts. This will probably take the cake for the best background we have ever had for a Bronco Nation News show, but really excited to be here and to talk some Boise State hoops and different things going on in the world of Boise State athletics. We got a whole crew here today. We're excited for this. We got Travis Hawks. We got Matt Bauscher. Guys, we appreciate you guys coming on. How's it going?
Good morning. Thanks for having us. It's a great honor just to be here with Matt. This is a great honor.
I agree.
Highlight.
Every day when he does the show and things, we're always very excited. Happy to have him on. Happy to have you guys here. I know you guys are both supporters of Bronco Nation News, so first and foremost, appreciate both of you guys for everything you're doing to let us do shows like this and do things, and we're excited, and we're hoping that both of your businesses and companies are seeing some value in that, and we really do appreciate that for both of you for helping us with this. And it's a very important day. It is my anniversary, actually, so thank you.
Happy anniversary.
I have to publicly. I haven't seen my wife in a month, so I have to publicly tell her a happy anniversary, but I'll be seeing her in a couple weeks. But big, in all seriousness, the basketball game tonight, season opener. We thought this would be a lot of fun to talk some hoops. We're going to talk some football. Winston Venable is going to stop by as well. So really looking forward to this. Matt, you got to talk a little louder. They said we're gonna jack you up a little bit. There we go. Someone said can't hear Matt. So what do you guys make? We had the exhibition game the other night. You got a new season starting tonight. Obviously coming off the Mountain West Championship last year, a lot of excitement in Bronco Nation. What do you guys make of what's going on?
I'm fired up this morning. It's game day, season opener, first game, 27-win record-breaking season. We went 15-3 at home last year, and we got a tournament team, a 30-win tournament team coming to town, and I'm hoping Bronco Nation shows up for these guys.
What do you make, Travis? You've been following this program a long time.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been waiting for basketball season for a long time, and just really excited about the team and the talent and the combination of the guys coming back and the new guys coming in. Have had the chance to go to practice a couple times and see them, and I think we've got another great season coming up, and it was such an awesome season last year, and I think we're just reloading and doing it again.
What do you make of the interest in the town, too? The season ticket sales were at a record pace. I think they only had like 50 left. They were even trying to sell, and we'll see what the crowd ends up being tonight. But, I've always been kind of critical at times. We all have, I think, on social media of fans, games and stuff. But you think that what they did last year will hopefully carry over into the stands this year?
Winning brings people. I mean, that's life, that's sports. And I think, people are excited. We lost some talent, but they brought in some just incredible people and basketball players, and we're picked to finish third. So, San Diego State's top 20, and you just saw the Mountain West went 9-1 in their first game. Air Force is the only team that got beat. It's a stat conference. Man, I think tonight's going to be a good chance for a lot of people to see kind of what we've been seeing behind the scenes, for the last few months.
I think that last year, people that came out saw a team that just played extremely hard, and I think that that was great for the fans to see. But also, as Matt was talking about, just the strength of the Mountain West Conference is you're going to see some great basketball all season long. And you think back to those battles last year with San Diego State and with Wyoming, Colorado State, et cetera. We're in for some just amazing games this year. And I think the fans, are realizing that's led to the season ticket sales. But I think the concern and struggle has always been turning the light switch with people that is basketball season. And, here we are, early November, some snow on the ground. It's a Wednesday night, and people, I think, aren't all in tune that the season's going.
Go ahead, Matt.
And I think, to talk about a big week and then the job of the athletic department, they get Washington State to come to town Saturday and have the game right before football. So you got a 5:00 tip off Saturday night downtown against Washington State. And then you got the football game after. So a fun week to be a Bronco fan.
I told you guys something was going to go wrong, and people are saying Matt's mic's either not on or coming in and off. So make sure it's plugged in there all the way, Matt. This is the first time I'm using this brand new mixer here. So you guys told me I was in a bad frame. I'm like the gambler that knows, the seven's coming on the craps table before it does.
Yeah, I blame you because before we even started, you were like, something inevitably is going to go wrong.
Because I've just done too many of these live shows.
You put it out there, and like I said then, I'm glad that that's not Leon's perspective going into the game.
I don't have Colin here to take care of all the stuff for me.
Where is Colin?
Yeah, he's back in school where he should be. They're saying maybe share the mic for the time.
We can share the mic. We can share the mic.
Just to get through today's show, and I'll figure it out.
Problem.
I apologize for that. But, what do you guys make of this team in particular, the guys you lost, the guys they're bringing back? I mean, what I think some people on paper are not sure it's going to be quite as good as last year's team. What do you make both of you guys in terms of the losing the key jab and the ACOT and the Armouche and what they're trading it for?
Our point guard's back, the cold-blooded assassin in Marcus Shaver, who hit so many game winners back to back to back. So he's our starting one. And then you got Max Rice, who's shooting lights out and tough and not turning the ball over. Obviously, you got Buzo from Texas Tech, who everybody's going to fall in love with. Tyson Degenhart, our freshman of the year, who's going to be one of the best players in the conference. And then you got a lot of guys also that are going to play, mixed roles that I think is going to be exciting. I bet you he ends up playing 8 to 9 to 10 guys tonight. And we're going to see a lot of flashes of some athleticism that we haven't seen in years past.
Yeah, I would agree with all that. I think that on paper, I think the team is actually more talented than last year with some of these guys that have come in. I think my question marks are, one, does it take a little time to gel early in the season with some new guys? And that's very possible. We don't know how we'll be out of the gate, but I feel like by winning time, we're going to be just fine. And then the second thing is, last year, the intangibles specifically that Key Jab brought to the team, those are hard to replace. And so we need someone to step up and kind of bring those intangibles. But I feel I really feel that talent wise, this team is better than last year's team.
Wow. You both are, I know, supporters of Leon Rice, and over the years he's had his detractors, but you look at what he did last year and then this offseason kind of continuing to try to build this program. You got the new contract, obviously, in the offseason. What do you make of, what is this, year 13 now, I think, of Coach Rice, 12 or 13, hard to believe, and kind of the continued, upward direction of this program here?
I'm excited about the retention. To get Shaver back and Tyson's back, and then you talk about getting the Texas Tech transfer in Buzo, and then you get a top 100 recruit that had every Division I team in the country with Sadrock, to sign here. That's impressive. That shows that they're buying in. And one thing Leon and the staff can say that other college coaches can't say is, I love Boise. I'm here to stay. I just signed a contract. I've had other offers. I haven't left. In a world where you get a big contract, you leave and you're promising these kids the world, and sometimes you don't back it up. But he can say that, and a lot of other schools can't.
Yeah, are you talking about the winningest coach of all time at Boise State,
That's
Leon
right.
Rice? Is that who you're talking about?
Who we've already discussed. John Mallory was joking about someday it might be Leon Rice Court, and we were joking about, is it going to be in cursive or print? Or we almost in the first question, just to mess with him, asked about that in the post game after the exhibition game, but held off. But
that was probably a good move to hold off. Yeah, I think we're so fortunate to have Leon here and committed, and I think that he silenced all the detractors last year with winning the regular season and the tournament in a great conference. And I think he's proven he can recruit. He's proven that he can bring a lot out of the players. And again, you look at that team last year with how hard they played and how they played defense. And that a lot comes down to them believing in a system, believing in a coach, believing in each other. And I think that's an underrated part of Leon is the culture that he's been able to build in this program.
Who's a player to watch for both of you guys this year that you're excited to watch, whether it be you can hold that, Matt, while he's if it get closer to your mouth if you want to, but who's a player you're looking forward to this year, whether it be a star player, whether it be somebody nobody knows about yet, but just who's a guy that you think fans are going to be fun to watch this year?
I think it's the one player for me is Buzo. He brings leadership, he brings poise, he's a tough defender, he'll rebound, and he is not as scared to shoot it. He's confident. In the exhibition game, he missed 2, shoots the third one immediately, knocks it down. But to go back to last season, I mean, there was 4 teams from the Mountain West that went to the NCAA tournament, and Boise State went 15-3 on those road trips through that conference, and almost every single game came down the last 5 minutes. And what I'm confident about is obviously we have Shaver back, which he decided 4 games. I mean, a 4-game swing right there, and now you're 11 wins instead of 15.
Yeah.
But Tyson, he's cool as a cucumber. He's poised. He reminds me of the guys I played with in Europe that were 32 years old. They've been playing professional for 12 years. Nothing gets them rattled. He'll bring that leadership and that poise when the game comes down to the last 5 minutes. And tonight, it's a close spread. It could come down to the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see all of the new guys, and Buzo, been really impressed with him. He certainly can shoot. You know, we're hearing some great things about Jace Whiting coming in and contributing right away. I think there's going to be a lot of good surprises with some of the new players, but I will say it's funny. You have conversations about Boise State basketball and all these guys, and then it's like, oh yeah, and don't forget about Tyson, who is I think going to take a huge leap this year. You know, when you look at last year, at the beginning of the season, he wasn't even playing, and then he turns into freshman of the year, and now he's had a whole off season and fall to develop. And you look at look at some of those guys. Leon comes from that Gonzaga stock, right? And you look at those guys, how they take that leap from their freshman to sophomore year. And I think we're going to see a really big leap from Tyson this year, which is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, he had 18 or 19 in the exhibition game on like 8 shots. I mean, you look at the score sheet and you're like, oh, he had 19 points. It was a very easy, quick. He was 3 of 3 from 3. I mean, I know they were picked, was it 3rd, I think, in the Mountain West preseason. I mean, what was that? Some people thought that was, considering who they lost, fairly, respect. Some people thought, hey, you won last year, you should have been 1st. I mean, what do you guys make of where you think they fit into the league this year?
I think that's probably about where it is. I mean, you look at San Diego's talent, and it's like always, it's through the roof. And Wyoming, I mean, they got arguably the 2 best players in the league that are back. So they're going to be tough, and it's a tough, brutal basketball league. I mean, the Mountain West, there's no easy road trip, and there's no easy victory where you can just scratch it off.
What do you make, Travis?
Yeah, I mean, I think 3rd was fair based on what Matt said, and I do think that the kind of bottom or second half of the conference is actually going to be stronger this year than last year. I think Utah State is a lot better than they were last year. They were up and down. There was some teams that went through some struggles and injuries and things last year. I think Nevada's a little bit of a question mark, but I think overall we know San Diego State is going to be really good. And Wyoming is going to be really good. I mean, that's 4 really tough games. And then, I think that as Matt said, there's no nights off. Maybe San Jose State, but there's no real nights off in this conference.
We got, Matt Bauscher, we got Travis Hawks. We're here at the Blue and Orange store. We got Winston Venable is going to join us here in a couple of minutes. We're going to switch over to football in a little bit, but still talking basketball here for a couple more minutes. And I do want to talk to Travis about the Blue and Orange store and stuff, maybe on our transition between guests here in a few minutes. But like I said, the best background we've ever had for a live show here. This place is incredible, and hopefully folks will come down. We had some comments and questions. I think we're going to take the under this year, but Cole is wanting to know the over-under on ejections this year, Matt.
It's the over-under is 0.5, and I'm betting the under.
If your family setup is anything like mine, I'm not sure I could take another. Once you get one, you might not be. The door might not work, right? If you got
no. My wife Lindsay is not going for another ejection, so that is no.
Hey, I'll just say that I knew Matt was being ejected, I think, before he did, because I sit on the other side right behind the scores table, and the referees came over, and I could read their lips saying he's out of here. And I leaned to the guy next to me. It was actually my business partner, Dave. And I said, dude, Bauscher's about to get ejected from this game. And he's like, what? And I said, yeah, he's about to get ejected. And then you could see just the panic on all the Boise State people's face. And they got like 4 of them together and walked over there and then kind of motioned for them to come. And
it seemed like they felt bad telling you had to get up.
They
too.
did feel bad.
And I saw it coming too. So I actually was able, I saw him walk in. I kind of saw that happen. And then I was able to have the video going, which I'm sure Matt's, not going to be something he wants to show his kids someday. But we had the video. And then, it seemed like they didn't want to kick you out. But and you never actually left, right? You just went and watched it on TV somewhere?
I don't remember, but I went to some road games. This is what drives me nuts. I went to some road games. So I went to Utah State. I went to Wyoming. I was 1/10 as loud as some of those fans that got no penalty. So
yeah, and where I sit, I mean, I've been warned before, and I just, the thing is, it's just up to the official. I mean, that's what people don't understand, is it's not like there's some line that necessarily has been crossed. It's purely up to the official, and if the official does it, that no one can say anything. Yeah. And so that's the hard thing, is I don't think it's definitely not equal how they do that.
And then the next game, when that official came back for the next game, like before the game even started, right away he went up and was like, "We ain't having that tonight." I mean, he was like, he set the tone early with you guys, like, we're not doing that again. So
and I think there's a stat after I think this show, we don't have to talk about it anymore. I think it's a year of statute.
Yeah, well, Leon says he's putting last season behind. He's tired of talking about the championship. We're tired of talking about it. But no, in general, season opener. I mean, it's a exciting day for a lot of people. I think KenPom ranked it as the second best game today. I mean, just this week, tonight and Saturday. We saw what happened last year when they started 3-4 and kind of had to climb their way out. How big would it be to get off to a faster start this year?
I think it's huge. I mean, we were behind the 8 ball at the beginning of the year, and, you talk about a game in November 9th, we have a 30-win team versus a 27-win team, both March Madness teams. I mean, what more can you ask for in a mid-November setting? So tonight would be huge. It would build the momentum for Saturday's game, and they obviously go to Myrtle Beach, so we don't have a chance to see them a lot this month.
I think that if you look back to last year in the tournament, we were all disappointed in the seed, right? And if you had seeded Boise State based on the last 2 months of the season, they should have been like a 4 seed or a 3 seed. And so we look at that 3-4 start, that impacted our seed in a big way and really hurt us. And so when I look at not only tonight, but this week, tonight, Washington State on Saturday, these are 2 huge games, and I do have the concern just with a lot of new guys, that there's going to take some time to gel. But how big would it be to come out of the gate 2-0? And basketball is unique that way, where this game in early November has an impact on our seed in the tournament in March.
And you look at some teams like Wyoming, nothing against them. Their first 5 games are all against 250 or worse KenPom type teams. So there's different ways to schedule, I guess. You get some confidence, you get it rolling. That's kind of what Wyoming did last year too, and it obviously worked for them. Or you can start out of the gate with some tougher teams right away, and then it lightens up a little bit. You like the fact that right out of the gate they got a pretty tough schedule here?
I love it, and I think we'll be tested early, and they're tired of beating up on each other. Now they get to beat up on somebody else, and come down to the Blue and Orange store, get your gear for this week, get your holiday shopping. 2006, right before the Fiesta Bowl, the timely Blue and Orange store opened. So get down here and get your gear for tonight and Saturday and the holiday season.
Winston Venable stuck outside. Can't figure out how to get in. Your instruction must not have been very good, Travis.
Well, I feel like he didn't follow my instruction. So we need Steven to maybe go out there and help him get in.
I'm not sure where he is.
The wrong entrance.
I think he's by the which entrance should he go to? I don't know.
He needs to listen to my voicemail of going in between JCPenney's and Kohl's upstairs.
Don't tell everybody how to get in.
Look for Winston Venable. So I'll talk. Yeah, I mean, I gave Matt the instructions and he had no problem. So on the scheduling, I'll weigh in on that. I actually love the scheduling philosophy of Leon to schedule these difficult non-conference games to go play in these tournaments. You mentioned going out to Myrtle Beach. I think that those are games that prepare us for the conference season, and then ultimately for the conference tournament and for the NCAA tournament. So it would be easy to schedule 5 easy teams to start the year and be 5-0 and get everyone excited. But I feel like it's going to be better for this team to come out with 2 challenges, outside of the gate. And we they obviously went and played Oregon, as we know, on the scrimmage, which was a great test. So I love the philosophy that they're taking.
This is where he says he is right there. between.
He needs to go upstairs instead of downstairs.
And the thing I like about Jeremiah Dickey, his staff, and obviously, they'll schedule anybody that are willing to come here. They want to extend the BYU series, the Oregon series. And I think the fans want some big time schools coming to Boise if we can get them here.
What in the final couple minutes, but while we're stalling for Winston to show up, you had no problem finding it. The door worked for you, by the way.
I got his message, and I was
same message went to both, and you figured it out. And what do you guys make of just the direction of this athletic department or Jeremiah Dickey? You guys are both obviously, donate money to the program and help out, and Lyle Smith, all that stuff. But what as people that have kind of seen this thing continue to grow, we saw another $1 million donation yesterday. We saw the $750,000 before that for the lights. I think we're up to $6 million donations already, with maybe more that haven't been announced yet. What do you guys make just of the future of this athletic department?
Mind-blowing to me. I mean, you come in here and the saying is that, people are frugal. You can't get money out of them. People want more done with less, and they don't want to donate. They've gone completely grassroots and gotten so many new donors who've never given to the university. And to me, it's just inspiring. It's inspiring for my business that, don't make excuses, make things happen. And that's what the athletic department's doing. And they're showing it. I mean, every day I'm seeing a new announcement of more money given, and you got to buy in. I mean, people work hard for that money, and for them to donate that, they believe in the culture and the cause.
It's phenomenal. I remember on the day that Jeremiah was announced and had his first press conference, I'll never forget one of the things he said in that press conference was, what we don't have, we will go out and get. And that was a very different mindset than some of the past leadership that we've had here. And such a great quote. I mean, we put it up on the whiteboard in the office. I mean, that's such a great quote. And he has done that. And you look at, they made the announcement, 200 Lyle Smith Society members.
Which the original goal was 100.
The original goal was 100. They got to 200. And I think it was something like 70% of the donors were new to Boise State donors, which is phenomenal. And then, we have $750,000 donation announced Monday, $1 million donation announced yesterday. And listen, I mean, it's Wednesday. I don't think we're done. I don't think we're done. I think there's some more things to be announced this week, and it's phenomenal what they are out there doing, and they are putting in the work, and they are asking the questions, and I mean, me asks, and I applaud them for that.
You've seen the drawings and everything from a basketball perspective. What do you make of from a basketball perspective that was it the east side or one of the sides are going to completely redo? We saw the practice gym with the coaches' offices and all that. You think about what Leon and their staff are doing now. What could some new facilities for basketball like that do?
Oh, I mean, it's a legacy, right? It's for many, many generations and teams and people that come through that can use it, recruit with it. I mean, it changes the landscape. When I was playing at Boise State, our locker room was about 20% the size of this store. You showered right next to where you watch film, to where you got dressed. I mean, it was light years different from the scenario now. And what's impressive is they keep taking a step forward and higher.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. The whole plan and vision is great. And I think, I think fans have been around to see drawings and plans and maybe are skeptical of some of these things actually getting built. And I will tell you, this stuff is going to get built. And I think specifically the basketball, this first phase of the basketball expansion that you were just talking about, BJ, and then this North End Zone project, which, is the priority for the first piece of the football. Those things are going to happen faster than people think. I think they're making a lot of progress. I think we're going to get shovels in the ground sooner than people think. And you think about next year with the new light at the football stadium, with the new lighting and the new scoreboard that we thought we're going to get this year, but it's next year. And then if not too far after that, we get this North End Zone enhancement done. It's going to be just a complete game changer for this stadium.
Final thing, Matt, before we let you go, just what's your final message to Bronco Nation? Final thoughts on basketball season, the game tonight, wherever you want to take it, man.
Be fired up. 27-win record-breaking season last year. It's a chance to go back-to-back regular season and tournament champions. We got the guys that came back, the recruits. It's a great time to be a Bronco fan. I hope they can get the support because I promise they will give it everything they have on the court tonight.
Well, we appreciate you, Matt. As I said, always a big supporter of mine and helping, you're one of the first to say, heck yeah, man, and get me off going on this. So I'm indebted to you and appreciate it and look forward every Wednesday when we get to chat. And hopefully it's it was a crazy year last year. Hopefully we can do it again, man. Looking forward to it. Appreciate it.
Well, it was Matt was the good luck charm, right? It was after the show started that we started winning.
It was. The first game, the first day of the site, they actually lost to St. Louis. And then the first show after that, they won 14 in a row. We didn't have very many crappy shows to talk about. It was pretty much just they win again. It was crazy.
Well, it was an honor to be a guest on the Matt Bauscher show today. So
you get to be on the Matt Bauscher show and the Winston Venable show.
I can come back sometime, but it was great. And the only thing I'll add about tonight is it's so easy to transfer your tickets now with the with the Ticketmaster site. If you're a season ticket holder and for whatever reason you can't come tonight, please get those tickets transferred to someone that can come. We shouldn't have any season ticket seats empty for this game tonight.
If you're a season ticket holder and you don't know who to give them to, write me, and I promise you I will find Bronco fans to fill those seats.
Sounds good. Hey, I have to get you one, but Matt, I do have your payment for the next month.
Wow.
You do get a Bronco Nation news hat there, so
that's a big deal.
Yeah, so we'll get one for Travis. I'm starting with the on-air talent, and then I'll move to the advertising. But Matt, I guess fits both. But Matt, appreciate you, man. Hey, we're gonna switch and have Winston Venable pop in. But Travis, wanted to give you the chance to talk about the Blue and Orange store, man. We're seeing the footage on the screen here, an amazing spot. Just give folks the background and the reasons why they should get up here.
Yeah,
man.
we were talking about it, before we came on air, and you were asking me, or Matt was asking me actually when we opened, and it's such an amazing story that we opened this store June 1st of 2006. And all, there was a lot of uncertainty at the time. We had a new football coach. We didn't know how that would go. And we didn't know how that team would do. And then all that happened was we went undefeated and we won the Fiesta Bowl, beat Oklahoma, and one of the greatest college football games of all time. And so that was super fortunate timing for us and got us off to a great start. And our vision was always a place where Boise State fans could hang out and talk with each other, and a destination when families and people came into games. And we've seen that game days in here are crazy, and it's been fun to be a part of it and see the growth. And what people don't remember is back in 2006, it was actually hard to find gear, and it was actually hard to get vendors to make gear. And those first few years, we had to go out and do guarantees on the gear to even get made with vendors.
Wow.
So Boise State's come a long way, and the gear has come a long way. And the community has been awesome for us over the years. And it's amazing that we're 16 years into this in this store now. It's pretty incredible.
It is. And we again appreciate your support. You guys are a major sponsor of Bronco Nation News, so we appreciate you guys. And hopefully, like I said, we've been doing some gift card trade outs and stuff, so hopefully folks are enjoying that. We do have a few left. Any new subscribers want to jump on board, you can get a $25 gift card. I mean, I don't know how you're going to pick. Hopefully you got some time with all them. I mean, what do you got? 150. You got a ridiculous number of hats, sweatshirts. It's just pretty incredible. But we did find Winston Venable, by the way. I want to try this on the fly.
Winston made it in.
Can you guys not hear me or something? What's going on with this? We're trying to troubleshoot on the fly here. This mic, we're getting levels. Folks were telling us earlier, Winston, that it wasn't working. I have no idea why not. But can anybody?
Where's Colin when you need him?
Exactly. He said, "Where's Colin when we need him?" I don't know, but we'll see. I guess they're going to let me know in a second here if this mic's working or not. I don't. It looks like it should be, so we'll find out. But we do have Winston Venable. He finally made it in. Somebody commented, by the way, and Winston, for now, you're going to have to just share the mic with Travis. But no, they're saying no, so I'll have to figure that out. But somebody is said that any door in Boise should be open for you. So they're not sure why you couldn't make your way in there, man.
Hey, I'll just say
a little bit towards the
I'll just say too, I sent the same voice memo to you and Matt made it, and you didn't. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, well, Matt's got the keys to the building, man. He's got the keys to the city, and I don't have that yet. So I got some room for improvement, man, to get the doors open for me here. But no, I feel like I follow directions pretty well, and there just might have been a little hiccup there.
We're switching to football here, obviously, and I know Travis, you're a big football guy as well. But Winston, what do you make of the BYU loss and just trying to turn the page to Nevada this week, man?
Yeah, that was a tough one, right, BJ? And I think last Wednesday we talked about it, man, where this really was going to be a battle for the Broncos, and they hadn't really gotten tested with what we could have expected from BYU, even though their record didn't necessarily show, how good they are. But it's a rivalry game. Broncos got tested, and I think overall, man, what an awesome experience for those guys to get that battle test and get ready for some challenges down the last stretch of the season here.
What'd you make, Travis, of the loss to BYU?
Yeah, I mean, it was horrible. I mean, that that hurt. That hurt a lot. I will say a couple of things. One is I thought the atmosphere at that game was just next level. I thought it was one of the best atmospheres. Nobody left early. It was loud. I mean, Bronco fans on their feet, on defense, on first downs. I mean, it was crazy, and that was awesome. It was such a great environment. It was funny during the week because I think I talked to a lot of Boise State fans that felt fairly confident because BYU had been giving up a lot of rush yards because, they'd lost 4 in a row. We'd won 4 in a row. And I just kept saying, you know what, whenever these two teams play, you just throw out the records and it's always close. And it's amazing when you look at, throw out the COVID game, the games that have been here in Boise, almost all of them have come down to essentially the last minute of the game with BYU with the ball. And is a one play stop and we couldn't do it. But, I think that it was a disappointing loss, but as everyone, has been talking about, I think when you consider where this team was after losing to UTEP, to say that here we are in a situation where we can win our division, host the Mountain West Championship game, win the Mountain West Championship, go to the LA Bowl, finish the season, potentially 11-3. That's a great outcome if that's what we can do. So there's a lot to play for at this point.
Winston, as a player, is it easier to put a loss like that behind you, knowing it was non-conference and didn't really impact your goals here at the end of the season, or does it still sting either way?
No, I mean, it stings definitely, but I mean, everything that's being talked about in that building is exactly what you said. The goal is still in front of them. And I mean, that literally is the goal. It's in the building, it's in the team room. So everything's still out in front. So you can't get too caught up in, your sorrows there, and you got to get ready to play next week. And that's the big thing is you don't want to let BYU beat you twice, right? Going into this next week. And that would be terrible to have happen, but that's not going to happen. I think the Broncos will reload and they'll be excited for the future and to win the Mountain West.
Travis, you've been around here a long time. To see a mid-season coaching change like that, to see Hank take off and what Taylon's doing, how do you put into words kind of what it was like after the feeling after that UTEP game to the feeling right now?
Yeah, certainly we had never seen anything like that, but I think that it was as we look back on it, it was such a needed breath of fresh air, I think, for the fans. I think, that UTEP game, in my opinion, worst loss in the modern era. And I think fans were extremely frustrated, and the combination of that coaching change combined with the excitement around Taylon Green just breathed, new fresh air into the fans, into the season. And then we saw it with the wins. And I think that, again, I mean, I felt like it was pretty dark times, that night that we lost to UTEP. And so if you had told me back then, hey, this team's going to, win the Mountain West or go to the Mountain West Championship game, I wouldn't have believed you probably. Right. But would have thought that was a great outcome. So, I think there's a lot of credit due to Andy for riding the ship, because you see teams all the time, get in that just death spiral, right? And you lose a game like that, and all of a sudden you have a 5-7 season, and everybody just checks out. And so I think a lot of credit to him and the staff for rebuilding mid-season and, kind of building the plane in the air, so to speak.
He's Travis Hawks with this Mecca here, the Blue and Orange store. We got Winston Venable here as well for a special edition of the Winston Venable Show here. And we heard so much about the defense, guys. Their stats were so high, so highly ranked. Everybody, myself included, were comparing them to previous teams and all this. And I did, leading up to the BYU games, did take a look and say, well, the stats are great, but they haven't exactly played a ton of powerful offenses, at least in terms of the passing game. What do you guys make now of the defense? They give up 532 yards to BYU, and obviously 377 passing yards. Didn't have a single 3-and-out the entire game. All 11 drives BYU had ended up in Boise State territory. I mean, it was just from start to finish a struggle. They did get a couple big, interceptions and had a goal line stand, but overall BYU was pretty much moving the ball at will. How surprising is that? And is there any concern with the defense, or was it just by far the best team that they're going to play, Winston?
Yeah, I think it was one of the best teams that they're going to play, and it also was a combination of them having an off night. I mean, I think we just talked about, the streak of 4 games winning and those guys playing at a really high level, and that's the challenge of being a collegiate athlete, a professional athlete, is staying at the top, right? It's not an easy thing. So, get BYU in here, a rival game. They're going to get tested. And it was almost as if BYU kind of was on their script the whole time, right? That opening drive, kind of dinking and dunking and getting the ball in the receivers' hands and making guys miss. And it really turned out to not be a great defensive effort by the Broncos. But I chalk that one up as a loss, very uncharacteristic time for them, and I think they're a lot better than what they showed.
And Winston, before I get to Travis, it did seem like on first down they were staying ahead of the chains, so to speak, the football technical term, but they had a lot of 2nd and 3s, 2nd and 4s, which they weren't even getting a third down a lot because they were converting on 2nd down. How easy is it, I guess, for a good offense to move the ball when on first down they're getting 5-6 yards every time?
Yeah, you're just in favorable situations, right? You're in a favorable situation with those chains, and that's what they did well. They were throwing some quick screens, not only the screens that we saw that were big explosive plays to the tailbacks, but they threw some quick throws, some slants, some hitches to their receivers, and then they would make tackles and have guys miss tackles, and those turn into very favorable situations come 2nd down, 3rd down.
Travis, any concern about the defense, down the stretch here from you with what you saw against BYU?
I would say a little bit of concern, but I agree with what Winston said that, an off night. The other thing I would say is, BYU historically has always had these big, good offensive lines, right? And they do have a big, good offensive line. And so that was then a domino effect of our D-line did not get any pressure, and that puts the defensive backs in a bad situation, right? And you saw, the coaches say that it was like the worst performance the D-line had all season, and so we saw that certainly impacted it. The other thing is, I would say, and this is a credit to BYU, I feel like this was a kitchen sink game for them. I feel like they had lost 4 in a row. They were kind of in the we need to save our season mode here. We need to be bowl eligible. This is an opportunity for us to win against a good opponent on the road. And, this is a team that beat Baylor. And I think we saw more of that Baylor game version of BYU in that game where, credit to them. I think they came out and played well. I think they played kind of the best version of themselves, and we didn't. And that's how it goes in football sometimes.
Winston, I assume Nevada is going to try to attack Boise State. A lot of the ways they saw BYU have success. Obviously, they're watching the tape. So in the screen game in particular, what was it that allowed them to have 2 screens go for 100 yards? And is that just bad luck when you blitz and they have numbers out there? Or how do you better defend a screen?
Yeah, well, I think if you throw the tape back on, there's a couple missed tackles on some of those screens, right? So that's why those went for a touchdown and for explosive. I don't even remember what the yardage was, but explosive plays over 12 yards or more, right? So
they were each like 40 yards.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is those probably could have been stopped a little bit before that with those tackles out there. So, smart call, right? You got an aggressive defense, you got aggressive defensive line, and they found something that worked. They stuck to it, and we didn't really get that adjustment made. And it's a feel thing for those defensive line, right? With those linemen leaving, it's definitely a feel thing. So maybe Boise State defense hasn't gotten exposed to that much, but I would guess that they'll be ready for screens this week. And that's one of those things, as an offense looking at, Nevada looking at BYU, they can't take everything that was successful because Boise State's working on those things as well. So we'll have to see what happens.
Taylon Green, man, not running the ball. Sticking with Winston for a second. What do you make of Taylon Green? I'd like to see him run more. A lot of fans are yelling for him to run more. I guess when he's passing as well as he has lately. And Dirk Cutter was saying yesterday, he kind of jokingly got a little mad because he's like, hey, you're wanting Taylon, because we're all asking different questions. He's kind of like, well, we want Taylon to run more. We want Ashton Genty to get involved more. We want the passing game to keep going. We want to get the tight ends involved. Like, you got to win the game, right, and do what it takes. But, the 2 games where he's had, 10-plus carries, he's rushed for 100 yards. all it takes is one. He can break one at any point. I know that the defenses are doing things to contain him and not let him get outside or not let him do things. But are you okay with how they're using Green, or would you like to see him run more?
No, I think they're probably calling some plays that give him the option, right? Give him that read, and his read's telling him to hand the ball off, right? And that may be something that they could pull off earlier in the season. And like you just stated, that defenses are going to adjust and figure out how to attack Taylon Green and the Boise State offense. So honestly, for me, I love seeing Taylon be put in situations where he has to throw the ball and show the nation that he can throw the ball, because he's got a great arm, and all of this has given him experience that's going to be so vital for the future, so vital for, winning these next 3 games, winning a championship, playing against a really tough bowl game opponent. All these are experiences that Taylon's getting and able to show off his arm a little bit. So it's been awesome seeing the balance.
Travis, what do you make of the offense and Taylon Green running, passing, getting the running game? We've seen games where they've rushed for 300 yards, and we've seen games where Taylon's passed for 300 yards. Where are you at with the offense?
Yeah, the first half was obviously frustrating. We didn't really get in a rhythm. We didn't run a lot of plays, and
three and outs in the touchdown drive.
Yeah. And so that was tough. I think the second half you saw, I felt like Dirk called a really good game. And I think that, sure, I want to see Taylon run more. He's so electric when he does. But I think one thing with the BYU game specifically is those receivers were open, right? He was dropping back. They were scheming him up, and those guys were open. And so he needs to make those throws. I think on the read options, some of those, there's some additional chances for him to run. I saw, Dirk was talking about, we don't want him running in between the tackles.
Yeah, sure.
And I think BYU, they did a good job of contain. If you watched how they were playing defense, and then, it's funny because watching the next night, watching the Chiefs and how the Titans were doing a poor job of containing Mahomes and letting them get to the outside. And to BYU's credit, I think that they were doing a good job of keeping him in the pocket, and then receivers were open. And so Taylon was making those passes. But I think all of Bronco Nation is just pleasantly surprised with how fast his progress has been, specifically as a passer.
Yeah.
You look back to the San Diego State game, he threw the ball 10 times in that game.
5 for 10 for 48 yards.
Completed 5 passes for 48 yards. And now you see, you see some of those passes in the BYU game where he dropped it right over, right in between coverage.
Yeah.
Perfectly thrown balls. It was impressive.
Going to Reno, is it worse going than other road games when you think back to your time playing in Reno? Does it sting anymore when you see Mackey Stadium on the screen there?
Yeah, it's tough, man. It still hits the heart, man. That's my one loss as a Bronco. So I will never forget that one. And cool to have the Broncos go down there to Nevada and get a big win for us this year.
Are they with BYU leaving and stuff? Is Nevada always the team? I know it's always the talk in this town, who's the rival or whatever, but was Nevada for you? Is that the team that you just comes to mind that you hate or the most, or where do you see them fitting in?
Yeah, Nevada and Fresno State, I think, are right up there for me. And I think there's been those battles, right? There's been some history amongst those teams. And then there's also been some blowouts, but I don't think that takes away from it being a rival and a game that both sides get really hyped up to play.
Anything difficult or special about going down to Reno for this team? You've been back there as a coach, I think. It's a pretty short plane flight. It's not usually a super crazy crowd. They haven't been drawing great lately. They're obviously not very good this year. You see any challenges down there this week?
Yeah, nothing too crazy, nothing too special. I think they do have some passionate fans. Not a crazy big stadium, not crazy loud. I don't think it's anything that the offense is going to be too worried about. But, you got to play the game, and that's what those guys are going to go down there and do. But I remember 2 years ago, I think it was really windy, big wind game. But they should be a good time for some football.
21-point favorite. If there was ever a time to bounce back against BYU, is it a team? I think they've lost 7 in a row. I know they looked better. They had the bye week. We heard all the coach speak talk this week. But, is this a game where Boise State should not have any problems and get back on track?
Yeah, I hope they have the confidence, and I hope they have a great week, right? Like I said, hopefully BYU doesn't beat you twice, and I don't think that'll happen. I think those guys are really focused on the goal at hand and the task at hand and it all being obtainable. So I would expect those guys have a great week of practice and go down there and show us some Bronco football with a big win.
Travis, I guess your final thoughts on Saturday's football game. We got the double dip actually with the basketball game against Wazoo, then the football game right after. But do you see them bouncing back and getting back on track on Saturday?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, what a great day for Boise State fans on Saturday to have the opportunity to go see a Pac-12 opponent Saturday, 5:00 for basketball. I'll be there. And
the downtown arena.
It's going to be really, really fun. And again, as we were talking about earlier with Matt, this game is going to matter in March for us, and so that's awesome. And then you can go home and kickoffs at 8:30, and so you have plenty of time for that. I feel, I look at this game and I think that both the offense and the defense come out of the BYU game feeling a little disappointed with some things, and I think really motivated to come back and prove something. I think especially the defense. I expect them to have a really good game against Nevada, and I feel like the offense, as well. I think we'll have better success running the ball Saturday. And, it's now we're on this mission. We've got 3 games left and we control our destiny. We win these 3 games. Wyoming won't be easy. It's always tough, and we don't know what the weather will be like. Then we have a 10 a.m., Friday game, which is going to be interesting, but we win these 3 games. We're hosting the Mountain West Championship game.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot to play for. And that's important too, because if it's Fresno, that's going to be a different team coming in here, with their quarterback being back.
Yeah. By the way, someone's saying the alumni pregame party is at the warehouse on Saturday, starting at 1:00. The official alumni association, I guess. So you can go downtown to the warehouse, the new food area, hang out, party, and then walk into the basketball arena at 5:00, and then either go home or find an establishment downtown, 8:30 for the football game. I'm going to attempt to pull off both. I don't know if I can pull it off, but Bronco Nation News knows some people, and we're going to see if we can.
Yeah, that's BJ. That's a humble brag right there. I'm going to be at both games.
Hey,
we know how that's happening, BJ.
That shows I got to give Bronco Nation News some credit, man. Yeah, it's a brag. I'm not going to lie. We're making the effort to get to both games in a short amount of time. So we'll see. Colin's going to be down anchoring stuff till I get there at the football game, but I wouldn't want to miss this basketball game if at all possible. So we're going to see what will make some magic happen and try to get down there. But final word, Winston, you get the final word. Kind of echoing what he was talking about. 3 games left. We mentioned the goals and all that, but what's just kind of, your final thoughts, I guess, on tough loss, but still a chance to right the ship here and finish the season the way they want to.
Yeah, tough loss and 1 game at a time. Let's just get to Nevada and not think too far ahead. And I think we started getting rumblings as fans, New Year's 6, and you just ride this wave. And there's this deal where there's so many highs and lows and emotions from the fan perspective that if we can just keep it nice and even there, then it'll be a whole lot better for the Bronco Nation to be able to accept whatever happens, because knowing that these boys are going out there and doing the best they can. And I think it's a favorable rest of the season, but we got to go down in Reno first.
Travis, any specials you want to leave with our listeners, viewers here, or any hours or service or anything you want to, your last words here on why folks should come down to, this place is, I don't know how often you've been down here, Winston, but an entire store filled with nothing but Boise State gear. And this is not some little corner spot. This is a massive store, and I recommend it wholeheartedly if you're a Boise State fan. Come to the Blue and Orange store. You mentioned you started in 2006. Support, not just some store popping in now after they've had success. They've been here all along. So support the Blue and Orange store, because, again, they're supporting us. And if they're not seeing the return, they're not going to, continue to advertise with us. So if you like these shows, you like what you're doing, you're seeing, get down here and buy some gear. Do we have hours or any special of the week or anything that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, we just, what an amazing, ride it's been, these last 16 years. And it's funny looking back to when we started. A lot of people were skeptical, that this concept would work. Oh, you got the Tyson jersey there. I like that. A lot of people were skeptical that this would be successful, year round. And, we talked about the success we had early on, but then as we went through, coaching changes and seasons where we didn't win as much, people kind of felt like, hey, maybe this won't last. But it's a credit to the fans in this community that, we continue to thrive here, and that we've been here for 16 years. And this is always a great time of year for us, right? Because we're at the end of football season, we're at the start of basketball season, and we're into the holiday shopping. And we always like to say that there's nothing Bronco fans want more for Christmas than some new gear.
There you go. And you can do it online as well, the blueandorangestore.com. If someone says, can we have one of these in Texas? Well, you do. You can go online, the blueandorangestore.com. All the stuff's available there. And what is it, 11 a.m.? You got 11 to 7? Or
Yeah, the mall's open 11 to 7 and then 11 to 8 on the Friday and Saturday. And we always open early on game days and open a little early on the other days. So we're here, and we always love talking Broncos with the fans.
Yeah, Berlinda Bar says stop in at the Blue and Orange store every time I'm in Boise. So, appreciate it. Both you guys, Winston coming down, appreciate it. Because Winston came down today and because of the basketball game tonight, sad to say no BNN After Dark tonight. We will take the week off from BNN After Dark. And, of course, John Mallory still wanted to get paid, so for not doing a show. So we'll have to get him on the pregame show tonight to even that out. But no BNN After Dark, but I think another NFL draft pick guest next week, right?
We got to lock him in. It's going to be a good one. We'll get a little tease here in a couple days, BJ.
Yeah, but it is another big one that you won't want to miss. So, again, no BNN After Dark tonight. We'll get Winston back next Wednesday. Travis, appreciate it. We'll see you at the basketball game tonight, and appreciate everybody for checking out Bronco Nation News live here at bronconationnews.com. Make sure you're subscribing on the YouTube channel so you don't miss future broadcasts and offers and deals and things like that. So subscribe on YouTube. Go to check out bronconationnews.com. We got a lot of current written stories and stuff as well, one on Dirk Cutter and his son and kind of their relationship and how they're enjoying this. So that'll do it. Appreciate all your comments, your questions. And, again, get down here and support the Blue and Orange store. They got some great deals going on. And we'll see you tonight. We got the pregame show coming up about 6:15. 6:15, we'll have the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show getting you set for the season opener, Boise State and South Dakota State. We'll talk to you later this evening. Have a great rest of your day. Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com.